What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I'm back with another guide. This time I'll be telling you guys how to play Skarner jungle. If you find this guide helpful in any way, please do remember to click that like button, as it will help me get this guide out there to more people. Also, if anything changes that will affect this guide in any way, there will be an update in the description. The following subjects will mention in this guide: champion description, abilities, leveling order, runes, masteries, the item build, and the jungle strategy. If you want to go to a specific subject, you can click on it right now. Champion description. Skarner is a tank/bruiser. When it comes to clearing his jungle in the early game, he doesn't have any problems. The main problem Skarner has is that his pre-ult ganks are bad. But once you get that level 6, which shouldn't take you very long on Skarner since he has a very quick clear, his ganks become a free kill every time. Another great thing about Skarner is that he's very versatile in his item build, so you can decide in the game which route you want to take. Overall, if you like a fast jungler with a lot of versatility, Skarner is definitely the champion for you. Skarner's abilities. His passive, Crystal Spires. Skarner's presence causes a number of Crystal Spires to appear at set points on the battlefield, which can be captured by champions who stand near them for 2 seconds. Once captured, Crystal Spires are owned until contested, and the defending team can stand on the spire to prevent the opposing team from capturing it. Crystal Spires grant 30 gold split amongst its captors upon being captured, or 15 gold if only a single champion is participating in this capture, and it provides sight around them for 1.5 seconds upon being captured, becoming impossible to recapture for at least 15 seconds. Crystal Charge. While within a range of Crystal Spire, or while an enemy is stunned with Fracture or suppressed with Impale, Skarner gains bonus movement speed, bonus attack speed, and restores 2% maximum mana every second. Really try to focus on getting control over these points when you're trying to go for objectives like Baron and Dragon. Also keep the 2 points in your own jungle capped at all times, since this will speed up your clear by a lot. You don't really want to cap the other points in the opponent's jungle until the mid game, because capping will alert the opponent of your location and they might collapse onto you if you're not careful. His first ability, Crystal Slash. Skarner deals physical damage to all enemies within range, also causing subsequent uses of Crystal Slash within 4 seconds to deal bonus magic damage if he hits an enemy. Basic attacks reduce Crystal Slash's cooldown by 0.25 seconds, quadrupled to 1 against enemy champions. This is your main damage skill, so you want to make sure to keep spamming this when you're fighting enemies. This skill will also proc cleaver hits for the armor strat passive. His second ability, Crystalline Exoskeleton. Skarner shields himself for up to 6 seconds, gaining bonus movement speed that increases by an additional 16% over 3 seconds, while the shield holds. This shield becomes bigger the more health you have, as it scales for maximum health. Use the skill to get around the map and also to help you tank the damage from your jungle. You can just spam the skill whenever it's up, because you won't have any mana problems due to the mana regen you get from your passive. His third ability, Fracture. Skarner launches a blast of energy forward in a line that deals magic damage and slows the first 6 enemies it hits for 2.5 seconds, as well as marking them with Crystal Venom for 5 seconds. Fracture's missile slows down every time it hits an enemy champion. Skarner's next basic attack against a target marked with Crystal Venom consumes the mark to deal bonus physical damage and stun them for 1 second. Fracture's cooldown is reduced by 1 second whenever he stuns a target with Fracture, and 1.75 seconds whenever he suppresses an enemy with Impale. You pretty much only want to use this skill for utility in ganking or teamfights. You don't really want to use the skill in your jungle camps, as it will not really do much since your clear is so fast regardless. So keeping this up for potential invades from the enemy jungler is much better, so you can just stun them and deal a lot of damage. His fourth ability, Impale. Skarner rears his stinger, rooting his target for 0.25 seconds as he brings it down, dealing 60% of his AD in physical damage, some magic damage, and suppressing them for 1.75 seconds. At the end of the duration, the target takes the same damage again. For the duration, Skarner can move freely and drag his victim around with him, but he cannot attack them. You want to use the skill to catch people out in teamfights or gank people in the earlier game. Ganking people with this ultimate will pretty much always result in a free kill, so try to make use of this as much as you can. Also remember to step the other way near the end of the duration, so you get a little bit of extra distance from it. Leveling these abilities. On level 1 I start with my Q because this offers you the fastest initial camp clear. Then on level 2 I'll take a W for the shield to help me tank some extra damage. On level 3 I'll take a second point into my Q, because with the crystals you don't really need to stun or buff your E offers in the jungle with the first rotation. So taking a second point into your Q will just help you clear faster. And then on level 4 I'll take a point into my E. As far as maxing goes, I'll max my Q first, since this is your main damaging skill. Then I'll max my W second for the movement speed and its bigger shield it offers. And I'll max my E last, since you only need the skill for the utility it offers. Of course you want to level your ult whenever possible. The runes. I go for 9 flat 80 marks, 9 flat armor seals, 9 scaling cooldown reduction glyphs, and 3 flat movement speed quints. I get the 9 attack damage marks to allow Skarner to help clear his jungle faster, since with every auto attack he does, the cooldown of his Q gets lowered a bit. So with the AD, your Q will deal a lot more damage. And this of course means a faster jungle clear, since this is your main skill for that. 9 flat armor seals are just to survive your jungle early. Then I'll take 9 scaling CDR glyphs, personally because with the build I use, this will allow me to get 40% CDR, which is really nice. If you don't want to go for a build that gives you CDR, then just go for scaling magic resist glyphs instead. This will help you tank better in the later stages of the game. And finally, I take 3 movement speed quints to allow me to roam the map faster and catch people easier with my ultimate. The Masteries. I have 2 different pages for Skarner. The first page is specially aimed towards the Devourer style on Skarner, and the second page is for any of the other styles. For the first page, I take the increased spell damage to help you with your Q, and the rest in the ferocity tree is fairly basic. I take the Fervor of Battle keystone because it works well with the stated Devourer, meaning that you will get a lot of extra damage from it. And then I take 6 points into Cunning and Resolve to get the extra jungle clear speed, more damage when split pushing, and also extra movement speed. Now, for the second page, I take 6 points into Ferocity Tree. I take the increased spell damage for my Q damage, and then I'll take Exposed Weakness, because if you ult the target you cannot auto attack it yourself, so your team will do 3% extra damage to the target you ult. Then in the Cunning Tree I simply just take stuff that increases my jungle clear speed and just increase buff duration. Then I take 18 points into the Resolve Tree, going down the entire left side for more sustain, movement speed, and CDR on Flash. Ending in Strength of the Ages keystone. I get this keystone because it will offer you a lot of extra health, and it is actually very useful since you're going melee range all of the time. The item build. I have 4 different options for Skarner when it comes to the item build, depending on which jungle enchant you want to go for. Personally, I very much prefer the Runic Echo style at the moment of making this video, but it's up to you, all of these versions work. I'll try my best to be brief and only give you the important information per build. So, for the Devourer build, you want to start with a machete and a refillable potion. After your initial clear, you want to go back and buy the Stalker's upgrade to your jungle item. The reason I go for Stalker's upgrade is because it will help you get close enough to people to get your ultimate off. At this point, you want to go for a Devourer enchant as fast as you can. Also, as soon as you get the Devourer enchant, make sure you go into Dragon instantly. After the Devourer, you want to get yourself some boots for movement speed to help you catch people. I personally prefer Ninja Tabis with the Devourer build, but you can also go for Swiftness boots. After finishing your boots, you want to build into a Bladed Rune King. I get this item because it synergizes well with the stated Devourer, but most of all because it will help you catch people with your ultimate. After Bladed Rune King, you want to get yourself some Armor Pen, and Black Cleaver is the perfect item for this. It's the best Armor Pen item in the game right now, plus it gives you a lot of CDR for more ultimates and a lot of extra movement speed due to the phase effect. Now, to get even more movement speed for those ultimates and extra tank stats, you get yourself a Deadman's Plate, and to finish this build off, you want to get a Titanic Hydra for a massive damage increase as well as extra health. Now, for the Warrior build, same start, but instead of the Devourer enchant, you get the Warrior one. As far as the boots go, I prefer Swiftness in this variant, but you can go for Ninja Tabis as well. The main item in this build is Trinity Force. This will offer you a lot of damage and utility. After Trinity Force, you simply want to build tank items in the form of Deadman's Plate for movement speed, then Sterix so you cannot get bursted down by mages, and end off in Banshees to make sure you can get to the target to ult him instead of getting hit by an ability that will stop you. Now, for the Cinderhawk build. This is the build I personally don't like on Skarner, because if you are going for this, you might as well just go Runic Echoes. Anyway, again, same start, but you want to get a Cinderhawk enchant. If you are going for this build, you want to be tanky, so you should get Ninja Tabis. At this point, you want to get a Deadman's for the extra health and movement speed. After that, I generally get a Frozen Gauntlet in this build, because it will make you very irritating to deal with for the enemies. And again, you get Sterix to not get bursted down by mages, and Banshees to make sure you can get to your target. And finally, the Runic Echoes build. This build is very focused around movement speed. With this build, it's very easy to get onto an enemy and ult them. Again, same start, but you get Runic Echoes enchant over any of the other ones. This will offer you movement speed. Right after that, you want to get a pair of Swiftness boosts to make you even faster. And to make you even faster, you want to get a Deadman's Plate. Again, because you are going for a more tanky based movement speed build, I generally prefer to get Gauntlet after my Deadmans to help you slow the enemies down for your teammates to catch up. After Gauntlet, you want to get even more movement speed, so you want to get a ZZ Rod Portal. And then you finish this build off with a Sterix to make sure you cannot get bursted down by AP damage. The jungle strategy. In the background right now you can see the jungle routes for both sides of the map. Whilst this is playing, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about teamfighting, stacking your Devourer, and ganking. Starting off with stacking your Devourer, if you decide to go for it. When it comes to stacking your Devourer, there are a few things you want to make sure you do, or at least try to do. As soon as you get your Devourer, try going for an instant dragon. This should be very easy to solo and it will give you a quick 5 stacks. After this, do the Scuttle Crabs. If it's up, these will give you 2 stacks each. Remember, if you use your E on the crab, you will kill it faster. Up next, ganking. When it comes to ganking with Skarner pre-6, you will have quite some trouble getting good ganks off. To make a pre-6 gank work, you will have to hit your E on the enemy. If you hit that and get the auto attack on them, then you will generally have their flash. After 6, ganking suddenly becomes a free kill with your ultimate. Regardless of your level, you always want to make sure to come from behind the enemy with Skarner, because this way they will have no way of getting away from you because they will have to go through you. And this will make landing your E easier and it will give you a free ultimate. And finally, teamfighting. When it comes to teamfighting with Skarner, it's very easy because all you have to do is trying to ult important targets on the enemy team, and after that you simply peel for your carries. However, if you went for the Devourer build, you can also consider split pushing, because with this build it's impossible to beat you in any 1v1 situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it or learned anything from it, please do remember to click that like button right below this video, as this helps me get this video out there. If you would like to see more guides like this, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!